Welcome to your Daily 5 for Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023. Many of you listening may have never heard of a website called DPReviews, which is a camera review and news site that has been around since 1998. Or I should say had been around, because it's not going to be around for much longer. It was acquired by Amazon back in 2007, and Amazon announced in the last few days that the site and everything associated, as far as we know, is going to be terminated, shuttered, no attempt to sell it off. It doesn't seem like the people involved are going to get to keep the name in any way. It's all just Amazon property, and Amazon has decided that they just don't care about it anymore. And so a site that, unlike many websites, has lasted for 25 years and had a very loyal community and was probably one of, if not the most I shouldn't say the most, it's tough to judge that, but definitely one of the most respected camera review and news sites that has been around, will simply evaporate. Sure, somebody might do a data dump. There may be an archive that lives somewhere, but we all know that usually doesn't stay around for all that long. And instead, some of the people involved are going to go on to be doing reviews in a different format. So I assume many people who were fans of the site will probably, including myself, will travel over to where they go on YouTube and watch the reviews there. But it is nonetheless depressing. It's depressing because it's not really a surprise. This is essentially what I expect when any large company acquires a smaller company or a website. We've seen it time and time and time and time again, that the illusion of independence or, some type of existence outside of the gigantic corporate machine that acquires it, usually that stays around for a couple of years or some amount of time. And generally you can gauge that by when the prominent people suddenly leave the company, which you will see it happens on 2, 3, 5-year bases from the acquisition. There's basically something in the contract that says, we want you to stick it out as you're acquired until all the processes are in place. And then you can either get with the program or get out. And many of them get out because they find that what they did and how they operated is not really compatible with a giant company that has a certain way of doing things. And so, you look at Fitbit, which has had, the loyalty and trust in Fitbit is now at probably, it's got to be the lowest it's ever been. Most of the people I know who were big fans of Fitbit, they've almost given up on it because Google acquired it and basically at first did nothing with it and now seem to be actively dismantling it. And unfortunately, that's what seems to happen time and again. You could come up with almost any example in any year of something like this going on, where a company that's known for being agile and it's fun and people like it gets sucked up by a bigger company. And for a year or two, there's optimism that maybe they'll be able to stick to what they do and still be able to have most of the spirit of what made them great to begin with. And inevitably it gets ground to dust and the company generally just disappears. Whether the name itself goes away entirely or if everything that made the name worth something disappeared. Look at LastPass. LastPass, another great example. Company that had a lot of ardent fans, got acquired, went to pieces, and now, honestly, as I did a 5 about not too long ago, I don't know if they'll make it out of the year. They probably will in some form, but certainly not what they used to be. And I don't think that most of the people, including myself, who have been on there for, I'm going to say a decade. I don't even remember, but I've been on it for a long time. Just as soon as started to see what was coming out, the news that was coming out, gone. That's it. And we'll never go back. We'll never, no matter if Bitwarden doesn't work out, I'm never going back to LastPass. That bird has been bridged. That burn has been bridged. It certainly has. That bridge has been burned. There's English for you. So unfortunately with DP Reviews, and you can see it, the comments on the announcement article that it's going to be going away there's almost, I think 2,000, if not more at this point. Probably while I've been talking, there's been another 100 or 200 posted of people really sad that this is going away because they really love this site. And again, it shouldn't be all that surprising, but it never stops being disappointing because you really just want to believe that places can get an infusion of money and it means that there's recognition of what they did well and that these bigger companies want to leverage what works and make it better without interfering or destroying it. And instead, in almost every case, destruction is the end result. It just tends to be. It's not every single case, although I know there's a couple of examples I'm forgetting. So I'm not going to say it never works, but it almost never works. And certainly it is more typical to see an acquisition of a company as the initial signal that it will be gone soon, as opposed to it being a signal of success. So DP Reviews going away, Not something that's exactly surprising, but nonetheless, as it always is, disappointing. Later.